When to switch from a calorie deficit into maintenance calories for sustainable fat loss. In today's video, I'm gonna help you get a better understanding of what maintenance calories are, why a maintenance phase is so important for sustainable fat loss, as well as how to calculate your maintenance calories. Then I'll explain how a maintenance phase can help you with your fat loss journey. And if you've been eating in a calorie deficit for 12 weeks or longer, I'm gonna give you 3 major signs to look for to know if you should be moving into a maintenance phase to keep moving forward and progressing on your fat loss. And then lastly, after all that information, if you decide you are ready to move into a maintenance phase, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it and how long you should be at maintenance before going back into a calorie deficit in order to see the best results in your fat loss journey. So let's get right into it. But of course, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get a notification when I release a new video just like this one every single week. My name's Michelle Roots, kinesiologist, personal trainer, and nutrition coach with over 17 years experience in the industry, helping people increase lean muscle, decrease body fat to become the healthiest, strongest, leanest versions of themselves. And I created this channel because I want to help you as well. So let's start by breaking down what is a maintenance phase. A maintenance phase is basically you are eating a certain amount of calories to maintain your current body weight. So you are not gaining weight, you are not losing weight, you are eating at what we call maintenance calories in order to sustain the weight that you're currently at. A calorie deficit is basically an energy deficit. So you are either taking in less energy, meaning taking in less calories than you are expending, or maybe you are eating the same amount of calories, but you are increasing your energy expenditure in order to increase your energy deficit with the goal of weight loss. And how do you find your maintenance calories? I have an entire video talking about how to calculate your maintenance calories. I'll link that in the description below, but you can definitely just use, there's many online calculators. I'll actually put a link below to one of the online calculators that I recommend to a lot of my clients. The calculators are basically taking information about your age, your weight, your height, your activity level, your metabolic rate in order to calculate how many calories your body needs to maintain your current body weight. Now remember, these are all calculations. So until you put this number into action with your own body, because we can always under or overestimate our activity level, but it's gonna give you a great starting point. Let's talk about if you've been eating in a calorie deficit for a while, how a maintenance phase can actually help you on your fat loss journey. Well, I'm gonna start by saying is dieting is not easy. So if you have been eating in a calorie deficit and being so strict with every single thing you eat, tracking every single calorie, every single macro that you are eating, being on point with your nutrition, that's great, by the way. But if you are continuing to do that for a very long time, eventually metabolic adaptation will happen. So your metabolism will naturally slow down. Your energy levels are going to decrease. You maybe won't be able to push as hard in the gym. It's very mentally draining to continually eat in a calorie deficit and get on the scale every day and pray that it's gone down half a pound. It's very exhausting. Some people I know have been doing it for years and years, and eventually you get to the point where you break and you can no longer adhere to that calorie deficit because the calories are too low to sustain for a very long period of time. There is nothing wrong with a calorie deficit, but this is where a maintenance phase can come into play and really help you on your journey. A maintenance phase can also be called a diet break. And say you're in a fat loss phase and you're like, okay, I'm gonna stay in my deficit for about 8 weeks or up to 12 weeks. And then after that, I'm gonna take a 2-week break where I'm eating at maintenance calories. And what is this gonna do for you? It's going to help boost your energy level. It's gonna help prevent or counterbalance any of that metabolic adaptation. It's gonna give you that boost of energy to push harder in your workouts. It's gonna be less stressful on your brain because you can eat a little bit more food and feel a little bit better, feel a little bit more energized, and get you mentally ready for your next fat loss phase. Another bonus about these maintenance phases is you can plan it around your life. So if you know you have a vacation coming up or you have Christmas holidays where you're gonna be going to more social events, you're maybe gonna wanna have a few drinks, you're maybe gonna wanna not have to track every single thing you eat. This is where a diet break or a maintenance phase can work perfectly to keep you going on your fat loss journey. So if you're watching this and you're like, whoa, okay, I've definitely been eating in a steep calorie deficit for longer than 12 weeks, I think I should maybe try a maintenance phase. How are we gonna do it? So moving from a calorie deficit into maintenance phase is usually called a reverse diet. And there's 2 different ways to do it. And this usually depends on how steep your calorie deficit was, how long you were in your deficit for, and your mindset around the scale in general, which I talk about a lot on this channel is, you know, how you would feel if you saw the scale jump up a pound. if you've been trying to lose weight for a very long time. I just want to take a minute to thank today's video sponsor, Element, one of my go-tos for replenishing my electrolytes after sweaty workouts. Electrolytes are so important for so many functions in the body, including hormonal regulation, nutrient absorption, and fluid balance. Sometimes water just isn't enough, and Element has the perfect balance of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And better yet, zero sugar or artificial sweeteners, so no junk. Element can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. Right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. It's a great way to try all 8 flavors. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Michelle. This offer is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/Michelle. So the 2 ways you can go about it. Well, step 1 is always calculate your maintenance calories based on your current body weight, not your starting body weight before your weight loss phase, based on your current body weight today. And then from your deficit, how many calories is it to get you from your deficit to your maintenance calories? There's 2 ways you can do it. You can either add 100 to 200 calories every week as you go to more ease your body into it and prevent that huge jump on the scale. I'm talking huge, I mean like 2 to 3, 4 pounds, but to some people that's a lot. And I understand that, especially if you've been in a weight loss phase or a fat loss phase for a really long time, to see that number jump up is kind of like, what? But what gradually increasing your calories will prevent that huge jump on the scale. And it's usually not from gaining body fat, it's from more volume. So if you're eating more vegetables, if you're eating more protein, more carbs, more whole foods, it could be from water weight. It's definitely not from over the course of 1 to 2 weeks from gaining body fat. So you can slowly do that until you reach your maintenance calories, or you can jump from your calorie deficit right into your maintenance calories and just go for it, which is also a great way to do it and something that I highly recommend. It's a little bit less calculating, and again, it really puts you into a diet break. And if you're so used to eating in a calorie deficit, what are you gonna do to add more calories? My first recommendation is just to start increasing the portion size of the foods you're already eating, especially the protein, making sure you're keeping your protein high. You can keep the same macro split you were doing in your calorie deficit, but you're just increasing the portion size to increase your calories, maybe adding an extra protein shake, maybe adding an extra snack between breakfast and lunch or lunch and dinner. But really the mindset behind this is eventually you want to be able to eat like this forever. So eventually you're gonna get to a body weight that you are happy with and you're content with. And the one thing that people fail to realize is when they're dieting or trying this new fad diet, or, you know, just eating low calories and doing lots of cardio in order to lose weight, is how to sustain this weight once they get there. And if you don't think about that or plan it in advance and have a strategic approach to it, it's very hard to maintain. And I've heard from so many people who have lost a lot of weight, it becomes very, very stressful, and they live in fear that they're gonna gain the weight back because there was no plan in place. And again, it becomes just as stressful as it was when you were on a diet and you get scared to go on vacation because you're like, oh, I'm gonna gain all my weight back and I worked so hard. Whereas if you are strategic about your fat loss phases and your maintenance phases, it becomes very easy to structure that into your life, and so much easier for sustainable fat loss when you have a better relationship with the scale. You know that it might go up a pound, down a pound, up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds, especially after a vacation or after certain events, but you know, all I need to do is go back into my deficit for a few weeks, I'll go back into a fat loss phase, and then I can bump back into maintenance so I can maintain it. And then lastly, if you do decide to do a maintenance phase, how long should you be staying in your maintenance phase before you go back into a fat loss phase? This all depends on each individual. I would say minimum of 2 weeks, but it also depends on how long you were in your deficit for and how steep your deficit was. So if you were in a 500 or more calorie deficit every single day and it's been longer than 3 months, I would say minimum of 2 weeks at maintenance, up to a month possibly at maintenance calories, still focusing on whole foods, still focusing on protein, and then planning again when you're gonna go back into a fat loss phase. A great way to look at it is 12 weeks in a deficit, 2 weeks at maintenance, 12 weeks in a deficit, so on and so forth, repeating and repeating, and it becomes much easier to stick to your deficit because you almost have something to look forward to. I'd like to provide an example of one of my online coaching clients who has been absolutely crushing it. We started off in a fat loss phase. She was also strength training with the goal of building muscle, But as you can see on this graph, she has done amazing to consistently drop body weight 1 to 2 pounds a week, sometimes half a pound, but consistently see a drop in the scale week after week after week from just putting in the work, following my examples, doing the workouts, all the things. But we've gotten to a point now where she's got her body weight down pretty low. And you know, we kind of talked about it. She said, I'm not feeling as strong in the gym anymore. I do feel like I'm tired a lot more. My energy levels are going down. Once we've reached that point, now we're at the point where we're gonna get her back up to maintenance calories with that goal of using the extra calories to push harder in the gym, build some more muscle. She wants to see more muscle definition in her legs and more muscle definition in her arms. And although she's seeing a lot more than she was when we started, but I feel like now we're gonna put her into maintenance calories with the goal of building some more muscle. And then we'll put her back into a deficit if she feels like the scales jumped up too much or she's gaining more body fat or whatever it is. But this is where you play around with things, and me as a coach, I go off of my clients, how they're feeling, what their results are looking like, and then we make adjustments as we go. So this is a prime example of when you would want to move out of your deficit. Your body is telling you it needs nutrients, your body is telling you it wants more. So we're gonna give it more and make your body happy. If you've been eating in a calorie deficit and restricting your calories a lot for 12 weeks or more, what are the 3 signs you wanna look for that it might be time for you to try a maintenance phase? 1, a plateau in your weight loss. So maybe you've reached a point where you are consistently losing weight, and now maybe the last few weeks you haven't lost a pound, which is completely normal. But if it's been plateaued for a while, there's a possibility you're ready for a maintenance phase. 2, decreased energy levels. So maybe you're all of a sudden feeling really tired. Maybe you're not sleeping as well, or maybe you're actually sleeping too much, but you still feel very tired. You don't feel as strong in the gym. You feel like your body feels a bit more exhausted. You might be ready for a maintenance phase. And then 3, you're experiencing increased hunger or food cravings. So you're thinking more about food. The willpower has to be a little bit more than it was at the beginning of your deficit to really restrict yourself from eating more foods, or you're craving chocolate or sweets or salty foods or whatever it is, but more so than you were a few weeks ago. Again, this could be a good sign that it's time to move into maintenance. So there you go, guys. I hope this was helpful. If you have been eating in a calorie deficit for a very long time, I really hope this helps you kind of have a better belief, because I know a lot of people are scared. I talk to a lot of people on a regular basis, a lot of online coaching clients, when I say, okay, here's your calorie allotment, and I say, how does that make you feel? Because I understand the mindset. If you've been dieting for a very long time and say eating 1,200, 1,500 calories for a very long time, the thought of bumping yourself up to 18 or 2,000 calories is daunting and scary, and I get it. But when you trust the process and when there's a structure in place, like I say, maybe it's 12 weeks in deficit, 2 weeks at maintenance, 12 weeks at deficit, you understand the process and you understand why you're doing it and why you're increasing your calories for a short period of time, what it's gonna do for you. It's so much easier when you have an idea of why you're doing it and a plan in place, like I say, for especially long-term sustainable fat loss. So as always, leave any questions in the comments below. I'm always happy to help. And if you've done a maintenance phase before and it's been successful and helped you a lot on your fat loss journey, let us know in the comments below, so all the other people watching this video who are maybe scared to take that jump and move into maintenance can read your story and maybe not just hear it from me. I'll leave any links below to videos I recommend you watch related to this topic that are already on my channel, as well as some free downloads that might help you on your journey as well. And if you want more information about my online fitness and nutrition coaching program, I'll run through my coaching app. I'll also put a link in the description below where you can find out more about working with me one-on-one on your fitness or fat loss journey. As always, have a great week, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.